between the different types of brokers and demo accounts and real account and all that kind of good stuff. When I first got started trading, I didn't even know you could open a practice demo account. So it's nice that, where's that extra line coming from? It's nice that you can actually open these demo accounts and practice before you actually use real money. I was talking to a guy right before we jumped on here, and he was under the impression that you have to have a lot of money to get started in trading, and you have to, you have to learn a whole bunch of stuff before you even get started, and you don't have to learn everything. That's what the demo account is for. You get to go on there and you get to practice buying and selling and seeing what it's like to hold positions long term. And, are you buying at the right points? Are you selling at the right points? And then kind of perfecting your craft. Are you winning more times than you're losing on your trades? You want to get all of that stuff out the way during your demo and practice trading. So there's a couple different things to look at when you're looking at brokers. So kind of piggybacking off last week when I talked about the US brokers that give you up to 50-to-1 leverage. It's nice to have leverage in general, but 50-to-1 leverage is not a lot of leverage when it in the grand scheme of things with all the different Forex brokers that are out there. But what you do have with the US based brokers, you do have that federal oversight on the brokers. So the SEC, the CFTC, these institutions are strict on the guidelines, financial guidelines, when it comes to trading and investing in Forex and stocks and options and all these companies. You have that federal oversight. So if a company, goes bankrupt or a company refuses to pay you, if a company is being accused of altering prices when you're trying to buy at one price and they give you a different price, all that oversight, the federal government in the US is very strict on that. So you have a lot of protection when it comes to that side of it. You aren't 100% guaranteed because, we are dealing with people still that run these companies, but you do have a lot more security when you're trading with a US based broker. The other side of that are the European brokers, where it's basically anything that's not in the US. So you have less oversight when it comes to these type of brokers. Well, I won't say less oversight, but I'll say the oversight is not as strict outside of the US, because every country has their certain regulations for brokers. And so that they fall under those jurisdictions and those regulations. So there are a lot of brokers that are out there that you can actually go and start a brokerage firm for like $5,000, $10,000 literally outside of the US, because there's less oversight and regs that you have to go through. And so there's some people that start brokerage companies in like the Bahamas or Cyprus or all these different countries that have really lax regulations when it comes to the foreign exchange market. So using these brokers outside of the US, you have higher amounts of leverage, but you just don't have the, that full security that you would like to have. But having that leverage outside of the US, 1,000-to-1, 2,000-to-1, 3,000-to-1 leverage, it allows you to use smaller accounts and leverage higher and still get the returns that you would want to get if you were using a large sum of money in a US broker with only 50-to-1 leverage. So that's the benefit of using the different brokers. I would recommend that you probably open a brokerage account with a US based broker and a overseas outside of the US broker, just so you can have the best of both worlds. And you kind of want to have some diversification as well. You don't want all your eggs in one basket when it comes to trading, just in case anything does happen with any broker. So if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know any questions on that. So we're going to take a look at both brokers and how to set up a demo account tonight. So welcome, Sean, for just joining. So I'm going to do a quick screen share over here. All right. Thoughts on LMFX? I'm not familiar with LMFX at all, so I can't give you any thoughts on that, but I will look at them real quick. So LMFX, 1 to 1,000 leverage, 7 trading platforms. They look good. Nice website and everything. One thing, anything with any of these European brokers too, is if you decide to open an account with them, don't open big, massive accounts with them. Make sure that you can trade with them and get your money out with them. That way, you can build that credibility. Last thing you want to do is have a whole bunch of money there and then try to do that first withdrawal, and then something crazy happens. I kind of get into little Q&A check things that you want to do with these brokers too. All right, first, so I'll start with the U.S. based. Yeah, I'll start with European based. We'll just start with this one too. So one of the things you want to look at when you choose a broker, overseas brokers, you want to pay attention to see what type of leverage they give you. So this particular broker gives us 1 to 1,000 leverage. So whatever we put in our account, we can times that by 1,000 and have that much trading power. So we looked at last week. So whatever you put in, multiply it by whatever leverage they give you or whatever leverage you want to use. And that's how much buying power you have. When you actually open your real accounts, you don't have to use the entire 1,000 to 1 leverage. If you wanted to put it down to 500 to 1 leverage, you could do that. If you want to do it to 100 to 1 leverage, you can do that as well. But this is the maximum that this particular broker will give us. 7 platforms. I'm assuming that's based on the ability to trade online, mobile, desktop. I don't know what the other ones would be. I have to look into that. 0 fees on deposits. Basically, they're not going to charge you anything to deposit money, which most brokers don't anyway. The spread, we'll kind of look at the spread as we go through and do some demo and practice trading. The lower the spread, the better. That's what you want. The spread is basically our cost of doing business in the foreign exchange market. So when we actually looked at the pip values, this is actually going to be, I believe, a 2 pip spread. Most of the brokers actually tell you how many pips, but they put it as 0.2. So I want to look at that, when you open a demo account, is that 0.20, which is a 20 pip spread, or is that 0.2, meaning a 2 pip spread? So we'll take a look at that. 100% credit bonus. Whenever you're opening a brokerage account with a non-US broker, they're going to offer you leverage in most cases. Or offer you bonuses in most cases. It's up to you whether or not you decide to take the bonus. I personally do not take any of the bonuses because there's rules and regs behind the bonuses. They try to trap you in without you realizing it in some cases. So you definitely want to read the rules of the bonus before you accept them. Typically, they have a clause in there related to you have to have your account open for X amount of time before you can withdraw your money. You might have to take X amount of trades before you can withdraw your money. You might have to make X amount of money before they'll let you get your withdrawal. So there's a whole bunch of stipulations that could be associated with that bonus. It's not them just giving you free money with nothing in return on their end. So just be aware of the bonuses that they offer you. You may or may not want to take it, depending on what your needs are, what you're trying to accomplish. If you don't plan on withdrawing your money anytime soon and you plan on just compounding that particular account, the bonus might be something worth having. If you don't plan on withdrawing money for 6 months or a year, take the bonus, because chances are you'll meet the requirements at that particular time as you continue to trade. 24/5 support. You definitely want to have a broker that's available if there is something that you need to contact them with. Something is not loading on your charting platform. Anything, your withdrawal is slow, your deposit slow, anything that might happen. You definitely want to be able to reach your broker. via phone and via email. Definitely have them close by. So this is kind of things to look at for an overseas type of broker. All right. And I'll type in jaforex.com. This is another broker you'll want to look at because if you haven't already, the iMarkets Live scanning software works directly with this particular broker. So if you do open a brokerage account, you might want to lean to this one for, you're going to want to install this one anyway because the scanner works directly with this particular broker. So if you want to set up a demo account, I would direct you here just because it's easier and you don't have to have multiple trading windows open, MetaTrader 4 windows open. We'll talk about that in a second for those of you all that haven't got that far yet. But JFX, they're a good broker too to use for overseas. I use them as one of my brokers. Then you can see that it doesn't cost a lot to get these accounts open when you do decide to go real, using real money. Their leverage is 1 to 500. They have a 0.7 pip spread. So I actually know their spread is 0.7. I think that's 4 zeros and then the 7. You can trade. The minimum size you can trade is 0.01 lots, and we'll kind of talk about that as we do some demo trading here next week. It says 47 currencies and 107 stocks, so you can actually trade both currencies and stocks with them. And there's 47 different currencies that are available to trade. Now, some currencies aren't on every single broker, so you might not have some of the wild cross currencies like I don't know, the Russian ruble versus the Japanese yen. You know, some pairs are not going to be on every single brokerage platform, but the majors are. So those 8 pairs that we learned at the very beginning, you're always going to see those major currencies being traded against each other. So again, those are the ones you really want to pay attention to anyway, but you will notice differences in the different brokers on what currency pairs are available. So those of you that have installed the scanner and you looked at the scanner or gone to the web-based scanner and logged in and seen that there is a trade set up on a particular pair, but don't see that pair tradable in your brokerage account, that's the reason why. It's just because every broker doesn't have every single pair to trade. All right, so now real quick, we'll jump over here to forex.com. They're a US broker. Things are pretty much the same. Here, they're kind of showing you the spreads. Pretty basic stuff on here, but all the US ones are going to be 50 to 1. So there's no real need to advertise it because that is the law in the US. All right. And I already have a JAFX account, and I think I still have a forex.com demo that I have installed. Now maybe I'll uninstall it for this class. All right, so we'll do forex.com since I don't have that one on my desktop as a broker because I don't want the software to overlap itself. All right. Any other questions? And now we'll go into installing or setting up the demo account. All right. So when you set up these demo accounts, you definitely want to do it from your computer, from your laptop, not from your smartphone, because it's just not going to do it the way you really want to do it. It's the same process. It's the same demo account, but I recommend just doing it from your computer. It's a lot easier. And then you have to go and look for where they're actually have the link to install MetaTrader 4. That's the software that we typically use in the foreign exchange market. MetaTrader 4 is the industry standard when it comes to software. Every single broker has a downloadable version of MetaTrader 4, and you want to download the MetaTrader 4 from the broker that you want to use because it's already got the servers and everything connected. You could go out to MetaTrader4.com and download it from here. but it's easier if you download it from the broker that you want to use, because those servers are already connected and you don't have to go in and manually click and try to find the broker and get it connected. So whichever broker you want to use, download their version of MetaTrader 4. You will see MetaTrader 5 out there. Definitely stick to MetaTrader 4 for now, because MetaTrader 5 doesn't have a lot of the extra plugins and scripts and programs that people write code for, auto trader systems and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is mostly built off the MetaTrader 4 platform and not configured for the MetaTrader 5 platform. So that's why you will see that out there. And I don't know any brokers that really have MetaTrader 5 as a default download anyway. So you shouldn't really even have to think about it when you go and download the software. So MetaTrader 4 is the industry standard, but you can also look at other softwares if you want to really step up your trading, depending on what you like and don't like in trading platforms. Like, I particularly think MetaTrader 4 is really, really simple. It doesn't give me a whole bunch of the bells and whistles that other platforms give me. So you can look at platforms like NinjaTrader. I'll put that in the chat, and you can look at a program called Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is very, very popular to stock and options traders. It's not the platform I particularly trade on. It's a platform that I use to mark up my charts and do analysis because of the bells and whistles. But connecting it to a brokerage account is not ideal because of fees and all that kind of stuff associated with it. So MetaTrader 4 is what we'll continue to use. And as you go through iMarkets Live, and if you ever jump in the iMarkets Live TV sessions, pretty much everybody is marking up their charts on MetaTrader 4. So it's definitely a software you want to learn. In addition to learning the skill of trade, you kind of got to learn your way around MetaTrader 4 as well. And if you have questions as we go through it, we'll definitely do those in Q&A sessions too. Yes, Stacy, Thinkorswim is free. You can go and download it. Now, the thing with Thinkorswim, when you download it and install it, they'll give you stock information, live feed information for free and no cost, but you get delayed data on the foreign exchange stuff. So you actually have to go, it's still free, but you just have to go and apply for like options 2 level trading or something like that. It used to all be free and all real-time data, but now the Forex data is 20 minutes behind. So if you're trading real, you definitely got to keep that in mind. So, but you can apply to get the Forex data in real time. You just have to do it when you log in and create your TD Ameritrade account. But the software is a lot better when it comes to like marking up charts. It just gives you a lot of nice tools. All right, so MetaTrader 4, we're at forex.com, and download MetaTrader 4. And there's going to be a version for Windows and a web-based version. We're going to do the download for our Windows computer. If you have a Mac, there's a couple extra steps and we can kind of go through it. Just let me know. We won't go through it tonight, but I'll help you set it up on a Mac too. I have mine installed on my Mac, but I rarely use it off the Mac just because the setup is different, and MetaTrader 4 doesn't run as clean. It's not designed really for Macs. But if you have a Mac, you want to look up the software Wine Bottler. There's a version of MetaTrader 4 that's inside of Wine Bottler itself, and you can download it and install it. But if you have problems with that, just let me know. And we're going to click download for MetaTrader 4 for Windows. Installation is super, super simple, so you don't have to be a IT genius on this one. Then you're going to get a pop-up here. You just have to agree to the terms, and you can select next. And this is going to be for every single broker that you decide, any broker that you decide to use. And then you're going to screen like this is this MQL5 screen. You can go ahead and close this. You don't need this, but this is just some general Forex information, news alerts and trade signals and stuff like that. So you can go ahead and close that. And then you're going to get a screen that opens up. And so I guess I still have Forex from our last class on here. But this is, you'll get a screen that looks a little bit different than this, but it will open up. So let's get rid of all this extra stuff. We had a trade that we were selling, and we're up like 200 bucks on this trade. We close that out. And let's add a new chart over here. So you're actually going to get a screen that looks somewhat similar to this, except it'll be 4 squares that all have this same look and feel to it. But what we need to do is actually set up a demo account on here, okay? So I'm going to go up here to the file and go into open an account, okay? Now, when you go to and you open an account, depending on your broker, they'll have one server or they'll have multiple servers. So it just really depends on the broker themselves. Forex.com has a ton of servers because they're a really big company. They service a whole bunch of Forex traders. So if one server goes down, they want to have another server that can handle the load of traders, right? So in order to set up a demo account, all we need to do is just make sure we select a server that says demo. These live accounts are for live trading, so you don't want to do any of those. So we just want to make sure we select demo, and then we're going to hit next, okay? It says existing trade account and new demo account, new real account. We're going to do new demo account and then select next. And then we're going to put in our name, email, phone number, and deposit, okay? Now, one trick or rule of thumb, something I tell you to do is never use your test at, can't talk and type, there we go. Don't use your real information because the brokers will call you and they will email you and try to get you to open your account faster than what you really need to open up a real account. You definitely want to get some practice under your belt before the broker calls you and say, hey, come on, open an account, I'll help you. And then, 20 days from now, you lost all your money. So just don't use your real information because a broker account is like finding a penny in your penny stash in your coin. You can open these brokers accounts, no problem. It doesn't cost you anything. So just anything in here. But you need your name, you need an email address, you need a phone number. And then for the deposit size, you want to put something in there that's realistic to you on how much you actually think you're going to start your trading account off with. You don't want to put $1 million in here. You don't want to put $100,000 in here if you're not going to actually start trading with that amount of money. So put something in there that's realistic to you. So if $1,000 realistic, put that in there. If $5,000 is realistic, put that in there. If $50 is realistic to you, put that in there. That way you can actually see what type of returns or losses that you'll get after you take your trades, okay? Because not every trade is a winner, not every trade is a loser. So you got to be able to kind of see that, what it's going to feel like with that certain amount in your account. Then you have to just click this little checkbox. I agree to subscribe to these newsletters. And then you hit next, okay? And now our account is created. It has our information that we initially put in there. And then it also has our login information. Now, because this is a demo account, you don't need to necessarily write and keep track of this demo information unless you really, really want to. But you should be able to automatically log in every single time. Now, if you guys want to go out and install MetaTrader 4 for your smartphone, Android and iOS, you can download MetaTrader 4 for your smartphone. I highly recommend that you have it on there anyway. And then you can use this login information and this password to actually log into your account on your mobile device. Now, the investor password that is showing there is for when you want to actually give that to somebody and they can look at your account. They can look at your account history. So there's multiple ways to profit from trading in the Forex world, not just trading itself. So if somebody wants you to trade for them, you could give them this investor password and they can look at your past performance and see how well of a trader you are. They can't go in and take trades. They can't go in and alter any settings or anything like that. All they have is view permissions to kind of look at your history. So that's what that investor password is for. But the main one you're concerned about is the login and the first password that's listed there. Again, if you don't say this information, it's no problem. Creating the demo account was, you saw how fast it was. So then we'll just select finished. And then it logs us into our demo account. All right. Any questions so far? All right. So we're in our demo account. I'm not going to go through how to set up the scanner tonight. If anybody needs help with the scanner, let me know, and that way I can kind of fit it in for Monday, because I definitely want to make sure you guys have that. Excuse me. But if you guys already have the scanner, awesome. But if you don't, let me know, and I'll plan it for Monday, and that way we can take some time to install the scanner. It's pretty quick, but I definitely want to make sure you guys have it so you can begin taking the trades that the scanner tells you, and see how they actually work out for you, right? We got to make sure that the system is profitable. So on the left-hand side, this is kind of going to be your homework this weekend, is to kind of play with this software. You can't break anything, so definitely play with it, but I'm going to outline a couple of the major things that you definitely want to do. I've reformatted mine a little bit up here at the top. This toolbar, you can drag and replace these things anywhere at the very top. So depending on what you like to see and when you like to see it, you can rearrange your top bar. On the left-hand side here is the market watch. One thing you'll want to do here is right-click on it and select Show All. So just right-click anywhere on here or up here at the symbol and do a Show All. And this will show you all the currencies that you're able to trade for this particular broker. So as you scroll down the list, you'll be able to see all the different brokers that you can trade. And this is your Market Watch tab. It's actually this red, green, up, down arrow that's in your toolbar. So if you select it, it'll go away. And if you select it again, it'll reappear. So it'll show you the bid and the ask prices. So depending on whether or not you want this on your charts, you can leave it there or you can take it off. If you want to actually look at any particular chart for any pair that's on here, so let's say we want to look at the Euro GBP, I can just click on this and drag it over and then unclick, and it'll give me the chart of the Euro GBP, and we can take a look at that chart. If I wanted to go look at the CHF, Japanese yen, Swiss franc versus the yen, I can just click and drag and unclick it, and it'll actually show it that specific chart. Down here in the left, down here in the left is the navigator window. So you can see that I actually had another demo account up here previously. And then we also have these different indicators. So when you guys have seen all those people with all the stuff on their charts, all these lines and things going here and there and everywhere, these are the indicators that you can actually use. One of my favorite is called the Relative Strength Index, also known as the RSI. The same thing, you can click and drag it over, and it'll let you set your criteria. We'll leave it as default here, but it'll actually add it to your chart at the very bottom. And you can add these things for days depending on how much stuff you actually want on your chart. But you definitely don't want to add too much stuff on your chart because it'll just get confusing the more and more that you actually add. If you want to take anything off of this chart here that you added, if you right click and go into indicator list, and it popped up somewhere on my other screen over here. There it is, indicator list. You can go and select it and select delete, and it'll remove it from your chart. And then you get select and delete, and then you'll get your chart back to normal. So this is navigator, and this is going to be the icon up at the top. That is the star with the little folder. So if I unclick it, it'll go away. If I click it, it'll bring it back. Down here at the very bottom is all your account information. Okay, so we'll hit our trade. So it defaulted me for 10,000 for some reason. I know I put it in 1,000. So this is your trade tab. It tells you what your balance is. If you select exposure, basically tells you the same thing, has a little graph icon associated with it, with your positions, whether they're open, closes, and losses. Account history, this will actually show you your trades. So if you want to go back and look at your trade history, where you got in, what price you got in, what symbol you traded, what position size you traded, it'll give you all your account history under this account history tabs. And the only other important one down here is kind of the mailbox. So if you forget your password and your login information, you can double click on the emails that come in here for a new account. And this shows you my login information and my account history and all that good stuff. There's some other things in here like the marketplace if you want to buy indicators and stuff like that. But because you guys are using the harmonic scanner, you really don't need to go out and buy any other indicators and stuff because you guys are already paying for it. But this is kind of what that marketplace is. And some of the stuff is expensive. I'll show you. I showed last class here. I randomly picked one that was almost $1,000. But you can see these prices for these little programs and automation tools alone is more than the subscription to iMarkets Live itself. $390 for a supply and demand thing, $199 for a scalper trader system, automated trading systems, a MACD forecaster, $55. So this trading stuff can add up with these little tools and stuff that people develop and that you can go in here and purchase if you want to. But I think you guys will be just fine with the scanner itself. Okay. And let's look at a couple other things up here at the top. And again, this will kind of be your homework is to, if you haven't already, download MetaTrader 4 and start to play with it. And back up here at the top, we'll go through a couple of these other main ones. The very first icon is the actual currencies themselves again. So if you don't want to have the actual Market Watch folder here, so we take off Market Watch, you can just actually select which currency that you want to pull up and go ahead and click on it and pull it up that way. What's that? I don't understand that, Stacy. A hold laptop to use. Reword that one for me. So this plus sign up here, you just add the currencies as you want them. If you want to save like your profile settings on how you set up your account or set up the way your MetaTrader 4 looks, you can actually set up a custom profile that'll load every single time. You can definitely do that. This data window, you don't need that. I've never used that data window before. New order. So you just want to know a type of laptop to use. Any of them really. Kind of just really depends on the budget is the thing. But any laptop will work fine because if you use the web-based version of MetaTrader 4, it's not going to use a lot of resources. Even the install version of MetaTrader 4 is not a heavy program, so it's very, very small. But pretty much any laptop will work just fine. You're more concerned with your internet speed to make sure them orders go through fast. That's the real thing. But yeah, any laptop you should really be okay with. New order is an order window, so it keeps jumping on my middle screen because that's the screen I use to trade. But once you select new order, you can have your orders pop up here. If you select new order, it'll actually bring up the order window of the chart that you're looking at. So if you actually want to trade something different, you can use a little drop down symbol here and choose a different currency pair. Volume, stop loss, take profits, comment, market execution, all this kind of stuff. Let's kind of dive into this section a little bit here. And let me grab a notepad for you guys. So if you want to take some quick notes, you may want to on this section. And I'm gonna wake you guys up if you fell asleep on me. So I'm actually got some questions, see how good your memory is from last week. Mini position, so micro position, a mini position, and a standard position in the market. I definitely want to take some more time on this as we do Q&As and stuff as we continue to go through this to make sure you guys definitely get it. But if you guys are in trading and you control a micro position and a lot, or micro position in your trade, how much money are you actually controlling? If you're trading a micro position, how much money are you controlling with the mini position, and how much money are you controlling with the standard position? So let me know how much money that is, because I'm going to show you, I got to show you what the volume, how it translates to over in the actual order window, because you're not going to type in those amounts when you actually want to make your trade sizes or how much you want to trade. So if you're trading a micro position, how much money are you controlling? If you're trading a mini position, how much money are you controlling? If you're trading a standard position, how much are you controlling? And when we take demo trades next week, you actually be able to see how these translate. So let me know. Micro is 1,000. That's right. Yep. Stacy said 10 cents. Like it. All right. So what's the mini position? Mini position controlling 10,000. Like it. And then standard. I like standards. 10,000. Cool. 100,000. Awesome. All right. So those are our position sizes that we actually control based on that. But that's not actually what we're going to put in the volume section when we trade. So this is kind of very, very important. Now, let me grab this Word document so I can make it bigger, just for the people that are watching on smaller devices. Let me move this over and move this over here. Okay. All right. So micro 1,000, mini 10,000, and standard 100,000. All right. Now, when you want to actually trade a mini position in the foreign exchange market using MetaTrader 4, okay, because every platform is different, you want to make sure your volume, trying to figure out the best place to put this for you guys, the volume that equivalates to a micro position is going to be 0.01. Okay, it has nothing to do with anything else other than how you put it into MetaTrader 4. So if in the volume section we put in 0.01, that actually means we're going to take a position size to control $1,000. Okay, so for every 0.01, we control $1,000. It will make 10 cents a pip, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. So you don't want to put in 1,000 in your volume there. So if you're trading 5 micro lots and it's 5,000, you don't want to put in 5,000 into that volume, because your trade is huge if you do that. So the volume is going to be 0.01. If you want to trade 5 mini lots or 5 micro lots rather, it'll be 0.05. Okay, so that's our micro. So anything up from 0.01 up to 0.09 is going to be those micro positions. And so when you see on those broker websites where it says you can trade as little as 0.01, this is what they're talking about, is that position size that you can trade. Oh, geez, since 740, I got to speed up a little bit. All right. If you want to trade a mini size in the foreign exchange market on MetaTrader 4, you're going to use 0.10. So 0.10 is equivalent to a mini position controlling a $10,000 position in the market. So 0.10. Okay. Like that. So if you wanted to trade 5 mini lots, you would do 0.50. If you want to trade 7 mini lots at $7 a pip, it'd be 0.70. So that's how that translates over. And if you wanted to trade a standard lot that's worth $10 a pip, you're going to put in 1 or 1.0. Okay, that's going to be your standard position in the market. So if you want to trade 3 lots, it'd be 3. Okay, so that's what you have to put in when you put in the actual volume amount in your Forex. So when you practice trading with that, make sure you do that. Excuse me. I've had people go in and type in like 3, thinking they were trading like 3 mini positions, and no, you're trading 3 standard lots at $30 a pip. That's what that means. So make sure you do understand that and practice that. Okay. Stop loss. We'll talk about stop losses as we do some practicing. We'll talk about some take profits as we do some practicing. Market execution means that as soon as we hit this buy or sell button, this trade will take place immediately. Okay, so that's market execution, means this trade will happen immediately. You can drop this down and select pending order. So for those of you all that are already taking a look at the scanner and seeing the scanner stuff, what the pending order can be used for is if you see the trade setting up and you might have to go to sleep or you might be at work, but you definitely think the trade is going to work out in one direction or another. You see it getting close to that entry zone, but you're not going to be able to look at your computer at the time it happens. You'll want to use a pending order, and this is where you can put in where you want your market order to trigger. So once it gets to a certain price, it will trigger, and then you'll be put into the trade. So it allows you to get those better prices if you're not able to actually do trading right in front of your computer at that specific time. Okay. And we'll do some demo stuff on this a little bit as we go through it. Going back over here to the market execution, this is where you kind of see what the spread of the trade is. So this is our cost of doing business to get into the market. All right. So we see that this particular pair, the AUD CAD, Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar, the sell price is roughly 0.730. And the buy price is 0.733. So this is a 3 pip spread. Okay, this is our cost to do business in the market. So what this means is, as soon as, let's say we want to buy this pair, as soon as we hit the buy button, if we wanted to sell it back immediately, so let's say we made a mistake, we wanted to get out the trade, there's going to be a 3 pip spread in there. This is the difference between the buy and the sell. So if we bought it at 0.9733 and we wanted to get out the market, we only could sell it back at 0.9730. So that's 3 pips. So let's say we're taking a standard lot. We're going to be in the hole as soon as we get in our trade position by 3 pips or $30. If we're taking a mini position, we'll be in the hole by $3, right as we get into the trade. So that's kind of our cost of doing business. We don't have we're not paying for shares of stock like you would, where you might have to pay $7 to get in. This really just depends on your position size once you get into the market. So that doesn't make sense to you guys, definitely let me know. But you're going to notice that these spreads are going to be different across different currencies. So if you try to trade some of these crazy off currencies, let's see what the euro franc looks like. That's going to be about a 3 pip spread. 09, here you go. I don't even know what DKK is off the Danish krone. This is buy and sell here. We're looking at 7.4409 to 7.4416. You're looking at a 7 pip spread. So if you want to trade some of these non-popular currencies, the spreads are going to be higher. So if we got into this trade, we took a standard lot, as soon as we hit the buy or sell button, would be down $70 because that's the difference in the spread. So the tighter the spreads, the better I like to trade them, because you don't have to, pay a whole bunch of money just to get into the trade. Worst thing to do is pay these high spreads and you get into a trade and then you're wrong and then you still lose. So if you're looking at the Euro USD, which is the most popular traded pair, we have a 1.1650 to 1.1652. We have a 2 pip spread. So definitely want to stick to the major currencies as you're trading the market. So And then a couple other things across the top real quick as we wrap up. You have your different time intervals. So whether you want to look at the 1 minute charts, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour daily charts, you can definitely look at that. Different chart styles, bar charts, line charts, and bar charts, open, high, low, close charts, and line charts. Then you have your plus sign and minus sign where you can zoom in and out. This green arrow here is basically allows the chart to continue to go to the right as prices continue to populate themselves. It's nice when you uncheck it, you can actually scroll back in time and the chart doesn't move all the way to the right on you. If it is selected and you move your chart back to the left, the chart will automatically jump to the right all the way to the end. And sometimes that can be annoying if you're trying to do some analysis. So you see how it just kind of jumped all by itself. The red arrow that's pointing the opposite direction, this allows the chart to shift to the left and kind of gives you some space on the right hand side, which is very valuable when you're trying to draw lines and kind of look for where prices can potentially go. So it kind of gives you some space to work with here. So it's not right up against the edge, right up against the prices. So if you select that little red arrow, it'll shift it over. And then we'll look at these tools as we kind of go through the rest of the month. The line tool, the crosshair tool, trend lines, Fibonacci's. I won't talk about Fibonacci's during here, but as you guys are getting advanced in your trading, we'll do it during our like 8 o'clock Q&A sessions because I love Fibonacci. I can teach for days and days and days. So I want you guys over the weekend to kind of download this if you haven't already. Start playing with the different tools on it. The market's going to be very, very slow tomorrow. Veterans Day is being observed, federal holiday, but the markets will be open because it's the foreign exchange markets. And you guys that are starting to pay attention to the cryptocurrency markets, those markets don't close at all. But play with this over the weekend. And if you have some questions, definitely reach out to me. We'll kind of go through, playing around with it. And like I said, if any of you guys have not installed the scanner already, we can do that in Monday's class and talk about the scanner and getting that set up, because we can also talk about EAs and expert advisors and some auto trading stuff with that. So definitely let me know for those who want to install it. I know some people in the last class, they're like really heavy on the web-based version of it. So you actually just log in with the same iMarkets Live account that you already have, and you can log in and also see the web-based version of it. So it's kind of up to you which one you use more predominantly, but you have both of them. They give you both of them to work with. So any questions, any questions, any questions, any questions from tonight previously or anything kind of going forward? Everybody's good. Make sure you guys know that it's 0.01, 0.10s, and 1 for your practice accounts. Definitely make sure you put in those right numbers for the volume so you understand your position sizes that you're taking. All right, no questions. You guys are quiet. Or I'm doing a really, really, really good job of teaching. Or you're really getting a lot out of the videos too. The videos are awesome. All right, so I will send out this replay either tonight or first thing in the morning. If you guys have any questions that you think about as they come to you, as you're starting to work through some things, let me know. And then we will continue on. So it's awesome teaching you guys. Hope you guys are learning a whole lot on top of what you've already been going through. I hope it's starting to make more sense and it's even repetitive, because once it gets repetitive and boring, that's how you know your trading is going to start to get better and better and better. Once it gets boring, it's good because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So awesome, awesome, awesome. So I will see you guys on Monday, 7 p.m., same place, same time, and all that good stuff. And y'all have an awesome, awesome weekend.